Hey everybody, it's Good Time Gal and welcome back to Good Time Gal food tutorial blog. For those of you joining me, I am Good Time Gal and this is our YouTube blog for those who follow along on my blog on the internet, goodtimegal.blog or goodtimegal.com. Today is National Macadamia Nut Day. So for my macadamia nut lovers, this is for you. I have a equitable macadamia nut cookie recipe that I want to try with you guys today. This will be my first time trying it. It'll be your first time trying it, but we're gonna do it together and it'll be fun. So before we begin, why Good Time Gal and macadamia nuts? Well, macadamia nuts are considered a luxury nut, and here at Good Time Gal we feel like we want you to have that luxury in measures, right? It's okay to be decadent as long as we are monitoring that decadence, right? Also, macadamia nuts are equitable. They are high in fiber, rich in antioxidants. A little bit goes a long way, so you can either put them in a salad, you can bake with bread. They just add an extra something special, and that's why we all enjoy macadamia nuts. So today is our day of luxury. We're cooking luxurious cookies. So please give these to your coworkers, your friends, and your families because they're gonna love them. The majority of these recipes, this is gonna be a pretty easy one. We've got some dry ingredients and our wet ingredients, and you are going to be needing your beater for this one. So the ingredients are 1 large egg, a half of a cup of packed brown sugar, a half of a cup of regular sugar, a stick of butter that's softened, a half a teaspoon of vanilla, a half a cup of macadamia nuts, a cup and a half of flour, half a teaspoon of salt, and half a teaspoon of baking soda. This is the exact recipe from my blog, minus the white chocolate chips. I'm going to use Hershey's chocolate, and then I'm gonna also use marshmallows. Remember, we've been doing our s'mores journey, and that's what food equity is. It's about recycling, reducing, and reusing. So I'm going to use the remainder of these for these cookies because my family, we prefer dark chocolate instead of white chocolate. It's all about your preference, okay? So let's do it. So first we're going to do our wet ingredients. So I'm going to start with the butter. And I always like to chop my butter because it helps when you're beating it. I'm gonna add the vanilla. I'm gonna add the sugars. And then we'll beat it. And then we'll slowly add more. Add the egg. Now incorporate your dry ingredients, okay? So I'm gonna start with the baking soda first and the salt, and then I'm gonna blend it. And then I'm gonna slowly add the rest of the flour. add the macadamia. Now it's time. I've already broken them up. Just gonna use a couple, not too many. This next part, you just need a spoon. And I use a plastic knife. I'm making jumbo cookies. So jumbo cookies, you can either do 1/3 of a cup or 1/4 of a cup and scoop. I'm just gonna do them regular teaspoon. I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons at a time. So they'll be medium sized. The rule of thumb is 2 fingers on each side. So that 2 fingers lets me know that it's not gonna spill over. So I usually just do my 2 fingers, 2 fingers here, 2 fingers here, 2 fingers here. So then I know this is my next spot. The last cookie. So we don't have to worry about putting the nuts in. They're already in there. So now you've made tiny pieces of chocolate. You're going to insert these tiny pieces of chocolate. I'm going to break them up. I'm going to insert. Marshmallows, you can either cut them or you can just pull them apart. I'm just going to pull them apart and then do little pieces. And then these will be put in the oven. We've got our oven preset for 350. So we're gonna cook these for 10 to 15 minutes. I do 10 to 15 minutes because I wanna make sure that I don't burn them because this dough is so sensitive. You see how wonderfully whipped it came out? So that's why we're moving like we're moving. And just so we're clear, we've done this in less than 10 minutes. So this is something that you can do for dessert today. All right, so these go in for 9 to 11 minutes and we'll be back. All right, the timers went off. Let's check it out. see what our macadamia nut cookies look like. They are jumbo cookies indeed. Check that out. And the chocolate chips with the marshmallows. They came out perfect. So pat yourself on the back. All right, I'm gonna put it down so I don't burn myself. Let's do it. Now, I used parchment paper, so mine came out perfect. Yes, that's what I wanted. I like it. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. And then of course, the taste. Yes. Crispy on the edges, soft in the middle. It's a perfect cookie. All right. From my kitchen to yours, happy National Macadamia Nut Day. That's all the time we have. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Happy Macadamia Nut Day. Enjoy those cookies, that luxurious flavor. And from my kitchen to yours, happy cooking.